Let's just do it. Let's just go live. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, creatures of all ages and variants thereupon. I am your humble host, the Weebo Jones, and Polly is in the chat room currently, as you can see, but at the moment, I am alone. I am alone. And by myself, unfortunately. But it's okay. It is okie dokie. Give me 1 second. I need to turn on the light. The other light. I'm so disorganized right now. It has been a day, ladies and gentlemen. It has been quite a day for you, girl Weebo. Let's see. She started off the day. Well, technically, she ended the day with the result of copious amounts of alcohol intoxication, and then fell asleep for a number of hours, and then woke up. Did not have a hangover, but definitely felt a little bit woolly, I believe is the terminology that people use it. The kids, not these days, but previous kids have used.
Hello.
Hey, Polly, we're live, by the way.
I just imagined.
And I'm stuffing my face with pizza because I didn't have a chance to eat yet.
I got pizza in the fridge. I'm looking forward to it. Cold pizza. It's a good thing.
You like cold pizza?
I do like cold pizza.
Do you like cold pizza more or less than you like hot pizza?
Ooh. Yeah, they're both so good, it depends on when you ask me. There's times where I've had cold pizza and I'm like, oh, this is so much better than fresh out the oven. And then other times where it's like, gooey cheese and whatnot, like you're dealing with right now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, yeah, this is the bee's knees right here.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about, like, not fresh out the fridge, not fresh out the oven, but it has been sitting out on the pizza plate thing for a little bit kind of pizza? Like, it's just kind of sat there for a while, getting room temperature.
I'm okay with that.
Okay
I don't need to microwave it, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people that it's got to be piping hot, so if it's sitting there for a second, no, I don't care. I'm fine with that too. Mm. But you find out just how quickly they're not using cheese, but a cheeseoid-like substance, because as soon as it's not hot, it becomes gummy and weird.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to eat as fast as I can. I don't want this to turn into a Twitch thought stream.
Are Twitch thoughts known for eating on stream?
That's what they do. It's like...
Oh, I've seen what's-her-name do that. Fucking Pokimane.
Hassan does it.
Oh, really?
Well, okay, so there's like this big controversy about streamers over on Twitch, because they stream for like 8 hours a day. That's their whole life. It's everything they do for a living. Excuse me. They make it a 9 to 5, but like you as a person need to take breaks. Except they don't have any. Holy shit! What the fuck is in here? I got a really hot freaking red pepper flake. I'm dying, Polly.
No, you'll be okay.
The only cure for this is more hot pepper flake. I know it sounds like it's counterproductive, but I found that if you keep layering on the hot food, like the spicy hotness, it dulls the hotness in terms of spice. So if you just keep doing that, I don't taste it. I don't feel it. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Okay, so my phone just rang and I just missed the call, but I got to return this call really quick. I'll be back in like 3 minutes tops.
Okay, I can entertain the people while you're gone. It's fine.
Yeah, just continue with the mukbang. It'll be fine. It's very popular with the kids. I'll be right back.
All right, have fun. Don't die. I'm almost done at chat. I swear to God. I'm sorry. It's just I'm super hungry. I haven't eaten all day. It's been a long day. 3 hours of driving right before I hopped on stream, and then before that. I was just kind of existing with my family at the cabin in the woods. So when I say long day, what I mean is I did traveling today, and I wasn't able to do anything productive at home because I wasn't home. And that's the last of it. No more mukbanging, I promise. Holy fuck, that's hot. I'm gonna die. I might be lying. I might need to go get a popsicle or something. But yeah. Anyway, so long day. It started with getting out of bed after I had puked my guts out the night before. Because I had way too much to drink yesterday. But here's the thing. I don't think it was way too much to drink. I think it was the combination of everything that I drank. Because I started drinking at like 3. And I started off with rum and cokes. Rum and Diet Cokes. No Daniel Plummet. We did not put the docks in the water. That'll probably have to be done as soon as the ice melts. Because right now the lake is frozen over completely. Like, even though it was 50 degrees outside today, completely frozen over. So that'll probably be late March, early April. I'm shooting for late March because I don't want to have to do all that work on my birthday weekend. But if it happens, it happens. Anyway. So I started off with 2 rum and Diet Cokes, and then I moved on to Stella's, so a beer. And then because it was so cold outside, it was like 12 degrees, but it felt like -2. I made hot chocolate and peppermint schnapps. So that's what I started drinking then. And then after that, I had a hard apple cider. And then it was dinner time at this point, so I started drinking wine, red wine. And it was the red wine, I think, that definitely fucked me up, because it was like my 3rd glass of wine that really just, you started to feel the room spin effect. You know, the one where things start to not settle correctly in your eyeballs and your... It's what I imagine vertigo would feel like if I knew what vertigo felt like, if I had like first-hand experience knowledge of what vertigo was. That's what I imagine vertigo to feel like. But yeah, no, I was not in a good way. I decided to step away from the family get-together after I started feeling like this, because I was like, ooh, it's coming. I know it's coming. So I hopped away, went to the guest house, got in my pajamas, and then I'm sitting on the couch just kind of like existing. I'm trying not to puke my guts out. Yeah, Ian, mix your drinks like that and you are asking for trouble. Well, correct. I know this. I have known this. I knew this when I did it. I have no excuse. I didn't give a shit. At the time, I was having fun, and I wasn't thinking about, oh, well, I'm gonna feel this later tonight. Dana Pullman asks, was this the first time the family saw you since the New Year's incident? What was their reaction? No, it was not the first time, and actually, it was the second time that I'd been with the family all together, or mostly together, since the New Year's Eve incident. I had been visited by family intermittently after the fact, so it wasn't like the first time that I saw everyone was the first time that I saw everyone. It was at my little cousin's 4-year-old birthday, that kind of saw everyone, and it wasn't like a big thing. Not a whole lot of people noticed, much less remembered that this was actually something that had happened to me. But of course it did get brought up because my dad made a point of pointing it out to everybody. He's like, look at my daughter, look at my daughter, look at my daughter's face. Because he wanted some advice from the rest of company about scar reduction and to conversate. It was a talking point essentially. So that was that. It was the first time that I had gotten together with the bigger dogs on a more one-to-one basis, and that was very interesting because we did have Daphne, and I had been around Daphne before, but I hadn't been around Daphne and the other antagonistic dogs that like to antagonize Daphne at the same time since the accident. So that was a very interesting experience. We were actually out in the garage. We were sticking holes into the sleds so that they had more traction on the ice, because what you do with the sleds is you take them out on the ice, right, and you go snowmobiling around on the snow, and sometimes if you hit a slick part, you go sliding and it's not fun, and you run the risk of throwing you and your passenger off, which you don't want to do. So what they were doing is they were drilling holes into the track of the snowmobile and fitting them with essentially like just spikes on the track so that they wouldn't slide. So we're in here watching some of the guys do this, and my cousin's wife, so my cousin-in-law, I guess, she comes in with 2 gigantic Belgian Malinois, while Daphne is in here by her lonesome, just chilling and existing and being a good little girl. The Belgian Malinois, Odin and Blitz are their names. They come in, and up until this point, I hadn't like seen them interact one-on-one.
There we go.
Hi, Polly.
Hello.
I'm telling a story about exposure therapy, basically.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Slick ice and the Malamars came in.
Yeah.
That's a cookie, not a dog, but whatever, I get the point.
A cookie nutted?
A cookie, not a dog. You never heard of a Malamar?
No. I said a Belgian Malinois.
Yeah, I said Malamar.
Are you just doing that to, like...
No, that's just, you just said Mala something, and I couldn't remember what, and so I just make up my own words. How long have you known me? I like making up words. It's fine. It's just, I would call those dogs Malamars even if I owned one.
Okay, all right, fair. But yeah, so...
Haven't you ever had a Malamar? They're delicious.
No, I haven't.
Well, look them up and look at them. They're delicious.
Okay. Malamar.
You sent me pictures of Girl Guide cookies. Surely we can speak of cookies. But anyway, go on with
and
your
also,
story.
those are your cookies. I'm supposed to mail them to you.
I know, no, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. How do you spell Malamar? M-A-L-I-M.
Hold on, no, it's M-A-L-A. Malamar, isn't it?
I don't know. It's a Pokemon.
It is. You're right. Hold on. Hold on. I'll look into it. You keep telling your story. I'll do the research.
Okay.
So Daphne's reacting to the Malamars.
Yes. So,
Yes.
okay. So the dogs, they come over. Oh, interesting. The roses are still up. Sorry, I forgot that was the one. Anyway. Okay.
Oh, it's a M-A-L-L-O-M-A-R-S.
Malomar.
Because they got the marshmallow in them, like mallow, like marshmallow.
Mellow art. No.
Because it's a cookie, marshmallow, and then covered in chocolate. Look at that. Look at that.
I know what these are. I've had these before.
Marshmallow puffs.
I see.
Wonderful.
Those look delicious.
Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Did you see the Christmas ones? Don't you want to make those next year?
Wait, hang on. Christmas.
Well, you were looking up on evil Google. If you had looked it up on Righteous DuckDuckGo, you would have seen them.
Sorry.
They've just got red and green drizzles on them. See? Look how much better DuckDuckGo is. It gives you,
It gives you exactly what you want.
Yeah. But look at those. Don't you want to make those next year? I want to make them.
I do.
Homemade Malamars? Fuck yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. So Daphne was reacting to the Malamars.
Yeah, okay. So the Malamars come in. Blitz and Odin are their name. And, so Blitz is the older one. So he and Daphne are more familiar than Odin and Daphne are. And so, they're interacting, and then Odin is the younger one, so he's not as trained, but he's also like freaking horny all the fucking time. So he's like on her other side, and they're both accosting her, and she's getting very agitated because she's such a sweet girl, and she's not used to this much dog attention. I mean, she does interact with Ginger, and they do get playful, but she's getting essentially double teamed at this point. Like, they haven't assumed the humping position yet, as dogs are prone to do. But it very much looks like it's about to go that way, and I'm like, oh god, my poor dog. So we get Blitz to kind of get distracted. He's eating balls of ice as a 6-year-old is throwing them at him. But Odin is not one to be distracted. So he keeps accosting Daphne, and we're like, no, Odin, down, Odin, get off Daphne, Odin, every time he attempts to assume the humping position. And then Daphne gets to the point where she is so agitated that she goes and finds one of the 3 people that she feels, like, safe around. So, me. I'm sitting down, and she comes over to me, and she's, like, chilling between my legs, just trying to, like, make herself look as small as possible so that maybe Odin will go away. You know?
Yeah.
But he keeps agitating her. He does this thing with his snout where he just kind of jabs at her to get her to play with him. And apparently he does this to literally everything in order to get them to play with him, because that's how he gets the people to play with him. But no one likes it. So it's very irritating, as you can imagine. Like, imagine a 4-year-old coming up to you and just poking you incessantly, even though you're trying to annoy them, or you're trying to ignore them.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Not a fun time. So Odin's poking Daphne with his nose, and she is not having any of it. So she's like snapping at him, and he's like barking back, and she's barking at him, and she's just like, Mom, help me. She's looking up at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, baby. But all of this is happening right in front of me, and I'm sitting down, so it's like right here that all of this is going down, and I'm like, Cause I am a month and a half out from my incident with another dog who was a lot more chill, a lot more mellow than these two are right now. If I make a wrong move, I feel like I'm like at risk for being bitten. I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Luckily, it kind of all like subsided after a while. I took Daphne away with me to the guest house where I just kind of chilled with her and hung out with my cousins. But yeah, it was intense. Exposure therapy, essentially. But now I know that in a tense situation involving dogs who are hyperactive, I will not, like, break down. Because I was still pretty even keel, but, like, internally I'm, like, hyperventilating and getting anxious. But,
sure.
Yeah. That was my fun little experience this weekend. How was your weekend, Polly? Did you get a hangover yet this weekend? Because I didn't quite have one, but I did have a bad time.
I mean, I got my drink on a little bit, but, you know, when don't I? Yeah. No, I mean, I've actually, throughout the week, I've cut down to, like, yeah, sure, I have a nightcap. I mean, I'm a gentleman and an adult, and I can do as I please. Well, you know, when the weekend comes around, yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, I got I know, poking you all the time, annoying you, kind of like a cat in your face when you're trying to stream. I hear you. It's just,
exactly. You're right.
It's just shit.
Mm-hmm. She hasn't seen me all weekend, so she's like, Mom.
Girls are the only ones I know that do that.
Really?
Give voice to their pets and refer to themselves as mom. It's weird.
Is it?
It's fucking
is it
weird.
I don't feel like it's
yes.
weird. I feel like it's
yes.
completely normal. If girls are the only ones that do it, I am not alone in this. Giving a voice to my cat.
No, you're not alone. You're being very female by doing that. Yes, at least in my experience.
Oh no, I'm being a female.
Stop it, Weebo.
No. Well,
What was I saying?
Just give voice to, you know, living creatures. I do it for inanimate objects too sometimes.
Oh, well, okay, I speak to things, inanimate objects, as if they're
like,
animate. Exactly. Absolutely.
About to
I will set a glass down in a precarious position and point at it and go, "Don't you move." I would.
Indeed.
As a quick side note, I was eating some Doritos earlier today, and I had a dry throat, and I swallowed one, and it kind of got caught in my throat a little bit.
Ooh,
And then I swallowed it, and it was no big deal. But for like the last 3-4 hours, it feels like I've got a chip bit stuck in the back of my throat. I
you
don't. It
probably
was just
do.
No, I don't.
Like
It
a
was
very
just
tiny sliver, like a Dorito sliver in your throat.
no. It just scratched my throat, so I could. It feels like that's what's going on back there. You know, when you like, you get a Tylenol or whatever, an Advil stuck in your throat for a second, and then it feels like it's there for like half a
Yeah.
day when
Yeah.
it's totally not. It
Yeah.
just feels that way. Oh yes, let me annoy you till you pick me up, and then when you pick me up, no, let me go.
Yeah, that's. I swear to God, that's Valentine.
Yeah, that's fucking
She
great.
does not like to be picked up. She likes to be, um, affectioned, as you can tell,
Uh-huh.
and she likes to be all over your lap, but she doesn't like to physically be picked up. Oh my gosh.
What's she pawing at?
She wants my hand.
Hey, you!
Here,
Jesus
watch,
Christ!
watch. Valentine. She's not the smartest. She's a bit of a dum-dum, but we still love her. Yeah, no.
That's something that I don't understand about cats. So they got this super sensitive hearing, and they totally do, and I get that. But they're totally okay with you running your hand right over their head and pushing their ears back like you were just doing. I'm not saying you're doing anything harmful because it doesn't bother them, because if it did, they would
They would
react,
stop.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it loud as hell to them? Like,
I
isn't
have
it
no idea.
disturbing and uncomfortable? I don't understand that.
No fucking clue, to be honest. I've never actually asked the vet if that was an issue. I do know that, like,
I actually thought you were about to say, I've never asked the cat. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never asked Valentine. How do you feel about this? I would imagine that if it was super loud and obnoxious to them and something that surprised them at least, because loud noises would do that, they would react, but they don't seem to react.
Yeah. Like if you drop a pot lid, cats take the fuck off. And it's like, oh, I totally understand, because it's loud and disturbing and uncomfortable to them, because it's this big loud ring and bang out of nowhere. It scares the fuck out of them because it's, again, super sensitive hearing, so they take the fuck off. So I mean, if you dig inside your own ear or bang your ear against something when you're walking through a door jam or whatever the hell, right? It's uncomfortable. How is running your hand over super sensitive ears not uncomfortable for them? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think it's because it's outside of the ear, right? So the ear is shaped in such a way as to absorb sound, like to funnel it directly into the canal so that it can bounce off of the eardrum and be received by the rest of the senses in the brain to be interpreted. Anyway, if you're touching the outside of it, I don't think that's necessary. It's not like you're knocking on the microphone.
Okay.
It's not like you're knocking on a microphone. It's more so like you're waving a paper around the microphone or something. I don't know. It's like you're touching ooh. It's like if you were to have a microphone, right? And you had the sound dampener thingy in front of it. It's like if you're touching that, I think. In this case.
Huh.
Alright. Yes. Some of the audience are going to be super jealous of you because you're the one eating my boob right now. Thank you.
Right?
Single-handedly preventing breast cancer from ever being a thing that I have to worry about. Thank you. Or
Nice.
single-poddedly, I guess. No, actually, that's not true. You are using both paws. Do I need to turn up my mic? Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you. You know what you could do on the technical side, though?
What?
Stop sharing your screen and reshare your screen. And when you do it, click it for not text readability, but smoothness of video.
Oh.
Because you're pixeling out on me every,
sorry.
like, 15 seconds.
Stream quality.
So stop sharing. Because, you know, I'm pretty
It
sure it
says
doesn't.
smoother video. Already.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then click the text readability one then. When all else fails, click the other button. Because I mean, you're not sharing it a super high rate or anything like that. So,
Well, to be
that's not
fair,
it.
we did have internet issues earlier this week. Like we had no.
Okay, I
internet.
take it back. Go back to smoother video. Now you're janky.
I'm
Sorry,
not janky.
but now it's worse. It's you're stuttery, and I'm well. Oh, because now you're at 5 frames a second. That would be why. 5 frames a second. That's what my potato stream's at. Yeah.
It is gross. I'm sorry.
All right, I guess I have to put up with the pixels.
My volume.
Weebo, your face
up.
is made up of 5 squares. It's fine.
What?
I know.
How is my audio a bit muffled? Hang on. Hold up. Let me see if I can fix this by just moving it up a little bit. Okay, how is this, ladies and gentlemen? If my microphone is in front of me...
Actually, it's not just... It's okay. Volume, sure. I guess it's a little bit louder.
Yes.
It's the quality of it that jumped by like 100%.
Oh, okay. I'll do this.
You sound much better.
Yeah.
Fuller voice, not as echoey, timbre and all that. Like, yeah. Win. Big win.
Okay, then. Now I know. Sorry, guys. You know, this is actually where it is that I put the microphone when I'm recording for a video, too, so... Yeah. And it's just a difference of, like, 1.5 feet.
But now we get to hear all of your wonderful intonations.
Yeah. Isn't that just right?
Yeah. Fuck. So, I was telling a story about drinking. Where did it go? Oh! So I got like an hour's sleep last night.
Yeah.
Because after Noir Bar, I was up for a while, couldn't sleep, but I had to be up super early to run out for a little bit, and I did. And then when I got back, I slept for like 3 hours, and I haven't decobwebbed yet. Like, oh man! So I don't have a hangover, but I'm right the fuck out of it.
Gotcha. You know, I was feeling it from yesterday because I told the chat. I don't know if you were there when I said that I had way too many different versions of alcohol last night, and the combination of those resulted in me not having that in my system near the end of the night.
What's Boyfriendo drinking?
Coors Light. He's drinking for the both of us right now.
Oh, nice.
Because
nice.
I don't want to drink again right now. I'm still recovering from my night last night.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's why I get the large container of water. There's nothing I like more when hungover than a huge glass of iced tea with lots of ice, or a huge glass of ice water with lots of ice. I mean, it's just hydration, baby.
Hydration. That's what I'm drinking right now, is water. And I will be drinking this for the next 2 weeks until the first weekend in March. Actually, I don't know, because the first weekend of March falls under Lent, doesn't it?
I was just about to say, Lent's in Ash Wednesday's in 10 days.
You're right. So, do I drink during Lent? I haven't made up that decision yet. Do I drink during Lent? I'm thinking...
I haven't made up my mind what I'm giving up.
I thought you were going to give up obvious sugar again this year.
I know. I was thinking about it. I don't know. I think I might go for something different, if only for the novelty. I mean, there's the old standby of obvious sugar, because I notice it, I feel it, if you know what I mean. We've talked before about the people that will, like, you know, oh, I'm giving up kiwi fruit. Oh, really? Do you love it? No, I've never had one. Oh, fuck you, man. That was cool.
So thank you to Lion Patriot, who said $5 to this. Sorry, I'm so glad that got used. Who said $5?
That's a win. That's a good one.
To the super chat to say, you checked the P.O. box recently. The things I sent may be there. Some of the things are for the gremlins. Oh, thank you. No, I haven't gotten a chance to go over there yet. Unfortunately, I was meant to do that over the weekend, but I ended up obviously not being in town over the weekend, so that didn't happen, unfortunately. But I will make a trip out there this week because I do need to grab stuff in case anyone send anything for side quest, but also 60 sent something. I'm pretty sure a coffee bean grinder is in my P.O. box, so Polly can stop harassing me about my coffee decisions, my poor decisions in making coffee.
I want your life to be better, Weebo. This is.
Thank you for caring so much about me.
I want, and it's also, you know, when you're a nerd about something, you want to pull people into your nerdy circle, and you know what I'm talking. Yeah, no, it's just you.
You said yes.
Then we can nerd out on coffee, where it's like, okay, so what do good beans look like? What are the sign of burnt beans and lower quality, and what's a good grind size, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. And then also the next 6 minutes donated to say, looking forward to your collab with Polly. It seems like only yesterday y'all were announcing it. Lol, JK. Anyhow, hope you had a great weekend.
Speaking of which, the next 6 minutes. Here, hold on. Donated a good while ago, long before the stream even started. He's ahead of the game. Let me just replay it. Bubble. They say an otter can disarm an opponent silently without raising any alarms as it infiltrates high security facilities. Cool. Anyhow, I'm working on a fun project. Details in your DM, if interested. I did read that in my DMs. I don't think he's here right now, actually, but I'll be replying to him. So yeah, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
ooh, I should probably do his donation too.
Thank you for your patronage.
You know what I need to do is I need to make like a very specific to that donation amount money alert 460 because he is so reliable with it and it is always that amount and you got to reward that kind of loyalty, you know?
You know what? I got to do a special $2.42. Yeah. You're right. That kind of consistency deserves a unique dono.
Exactly. So that's going to go on my list of things to do. I will have
After this, speaking of collabs, I'm just now looking up a previous collab that we did where I went through the trouble to find out what the standard, the chip throat thing, man. The whole stream is just going to be,
I got a red pepper flake up my nose, so I'm literally just like dying over here.
You know the pain.
It's not cocaine, I swear to God.
Remember when we did the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Yes.
Wookiee Translation Edition?
Yes.
I went through the trouble to find out what the standard font is for subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm actually looking that up right now because, I still have all the elements for that video because I need to use that font again for a donation I'm working on right now. I'll show you it after the show, Weebo. It's so good. My $5 is better than your $5.
Oh.
Sure, you got Weebo face and the Jaws
Weebo
theme.
face.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. But I got sexy Jessica Alba in the bra and panties on a bed smiling with a cigarette.
Yeah,
so.
But like mine makes the viewers laugh. Yours makes them sexually frustrated.
No, sexually excited and women sexually questioning.
Okay,
yes.
But the question is, what are they going to do about it? How are they going to do anything about it?
Everybody loves to look at Jessica Alba. It's fine. It's a feast for the eyes. What are they going to do about it? What do you do about it, Weebo? You goddamn well know the answer.
A lady doesn't kiss and tell. I shan't say.
What am I, Jeffrey Toobin?
Who do you think I am? Hunter Biden?
So Snippy says, I hope your collab comes out with good results. So I was talking to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
That I did, who was on Norbar with me last night. It was a good time.
Really?
Yeah. Because Far was doing her Animu viewing thing, her Animu viewing party, whatnot, watching Charge Man Ken and other gay anime. And so I need someone to come on. So Sam came on, and then Sinatra stumbled in like 20 minutes into it. So it was Sam, Sin, and myself. It was good. It was fun. But anyway, I was talking with Sam about the collab, and I was
Yeah.
telling him what it was, and so on and so forth. And I said, at a minimum, she needs to memorize. And we had this whole like 10, 15-minute discussion about you and memorizing scripts, etc. It would have, yeah. If you could have but been a fly on the wall for that convo, Weebo.
Wait, was it during the stream that you had the conversation, or was it
No.
like before? Okay.
It was off. It was like a few nights before we were talking about
Darn it.
Darn it.
I did print out the script and I brought it with me when I went up to the cabin in the woods, and I did highlight my lines.
It just sounds like you're going to a place to be killed. It's just.
Well, I certainly died last night, just a little bit inside.
In a very real way, I did, Polly.
I passed on. My body transcended and went to a different plane of existence as my head was stuffed into the toilet bowl. Sad and droopy and not in a good way. It was really bad. Gross.
So as you know,
Yes.
I've been watching Yellowstone,
Yes.
and Costner is a cowboy. Fuck yes. I've been enjoying it, but he's in spoilers, but this is just like the first part of the first season, and since season 4 just ended, I can't believe that this, plot armor and whatnot. He's very sick. So he's throwing up. The main character, John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner, is very sick, and he's throwing up.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns around from the bathroom, and he's like, "Oh God!" And he kind of wipes his face and looks at you can see this blood down his mouth, right? And he wipes, and he goes, "God!" He looks at his hand and the cloth and he turns around, and looks at the toilet, and it's full of blood. Oh, watch it, goddamn goose.
Oh
Come on, Weebo. My donations are the best.
Where do you find these videos, Paul? I gotta
The
know.
little Scarface cut over top of it. You of all people should be able to appreciate that.
I do.
Fuck you, man. Well, the goose was biting him. He had it coming. Thank you, Lime Patriot, for the 850. English. Was the discovery to grow grains used to make flour for beard or to make beer? I'm assuming that's bread. Was the discovery to grow grains used to make flour for bread or to make beer?
Beer. I'm gonna say beer.
I'm willing to bet beer was first.
Because you need to drink something to hydrate yourself, right? And a big part of early human society was, a big part of survival is clean drinking water, or the lack thereof, and the fact that you can't find reliable sources of clean drinking water more often than not. So people would drink alcohol to supplement that because they knew it was at least, all right to eat. It was prepared and fermented, but it was good to drink. So one of the earliest things that I do think that I know that mankind did was develop a process for fermentation of wheat to create beer, or just in general alcohol fermentation. Just so
I was
that
going
they
to say
had
that's a
the
big part
ability
of
to drink
wine
stuff.
as well.
That would be the same thing with wine. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't so much about getting drunk, though it was. It was also just simply about
Hydrating.
you can drink it and not die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Fun fact for you all: I actually knew someone in college whose senior practical archaeology project revolved around ancient methods of distilling beer. That was her whole project, and that was what she did.
Oh.
She made alcohol for her senior project and presented it to the archaeology department. I should have been an archaeologist. I fucking should have been an archaeologist. That would have been so much more fun. I mean, I do have fun in my current job too, but
In another lifetime, Weebo.
yes.
They always ask that. And if you weren't doing currently what you're doing right now, what would you be doing? Archaeologist, Weebo?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Specifically what kind?
Practical
Classical,
archaeology.
right?
So, well, yeah, classical, but I would be taking aspects of the classical time period, right? And I would be replicating per the first-hand, second-hand accounts and what we could dig up about these people. I would be replicating the things that they did in the past, in the present. So, like, the trireme is a good example. We don't have an existing, like a currently existing trireme from the classical ages. So the trireme would have been a boat that looked like this, right? So very, very long.
Are those the Athenian rammers?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
a trireme is. It's a boat designed for sea warfare that has this little not that part, but it has this whole big nubbin on the front that is used in seafaring warfare, sea warfare, in order to ram into another boat and sink it.
I've read Thucydides.
Yes, so that's what this little nubbin right here is. So through the descriptions of ancient texts, we can discern what these would have looked like and replicate them in the modern day. But we don't have an existing version of this. I think the only like current day ancient artifact that we have that represents a trireme is an actual like scale model of it, but not an actual trireme survives from the classical ages. So they built one. It's called the Olympus.
Cool.
And it was something that I saw in Greece when I went to Greece. I didn't get a chance to go on the trireme, but I did see it up close and in person, and it was so huge. Like, this doesn't do it justice. This picture does not do it justice. You had to be there. But yeah, this is an example of, I guess, practical archaeology, real world application archaeology. It's like recreating something from the past using what we've dug up, what we have learned, what we read, what we've translated. This is that. And it's I feel like it's better than going to a country and surveying a plot of land on the hopes and prospects that there might be something beneath the surface and having to adhere to all of this red tape that a country puts up in front of archaeological digs. Because, I mean, gone are the days, Polly, when you could just go to some foreign country, dig up their ancient artifacts, and take them back with you to put in the British Museum. It's no longer
Those were the glorious days.
Some would call them the grave robbing days of archaeology. That's frowned upon nowadays. So I don't think it would be nearly as fun to be an archaeologist in the traditional sense now because of the sheer amount of freaking red tape that you have to go through in order to actually do anything substantial. So that's why I think that this would be the kind of archaeology that I would practice.
Okay, you want to hear my thoughts on this?
Yes.
Let's talk about Egypt for a second.
Okay.
You know something of the subject.
Maybe.
When I say something, I mean,
A lot.
fair amount. Yeah. Radio 1 shut down. Let's just
It
recall
falls under the
let's just
umbrella
recall
of classical
that glorious
archaeology.
stream. That was one of my favorite internet moments ever. But yeah, moving along.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was. That was fucking legend status. Anyway, so Egypt, right? They're like, oh, we want the return of all of the items from the British Museum. Okay, let me tell you something. You know of the way that the Egyptian pyramids looked, quote, originally, at least the Giza ones and certain ones in other locations in Luxor and whatnot. They were the cap on top and whatnot, and the finishing stones, the smooth finishing stones that were along the sides that have long since been removed, and now the step-like appearance that it has.
Yes.
Those aren't the outer stones. There was smooth white stone. What happened to those stones? Well, they were removed for building projects in, you know, the nearby cities. It's like we've already got all this quarried stone. Why re-quarry new stone?
Yes.
When we can just take it off of the pyramid that's right here. And who did that for the longest time? Well, the Arabs who had invaded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And countless other groups before them. No one gave a fuck. No one was doing archaeology. And one of my favorite historical facts, just for perspective, we live as distantly from Cleopatra as Cleopatra lived from the pyramid builders.
Yes, we did.
So, I mean, there's an interesting perspective. You think how ancient Cleopatra is to us. From Cleopatra's perspective, the pyramid builders were from her.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to consider. But by that time, the pyramids were already in disrepair. They're not as bad as... Yeah, they're not as bad off as they are today, but pretty damn bad off. Who dug up the Sphinx? You've seen the picture of the Sphinx up to its neck, or right up to its, like, nose in fucking sand? Who dug it out? The Brits.
The British.
And the French. A lot of French archaeologists as well. The guy who cracked the code of hieroglyphics was a Frenchman. French. Right. Who translated ancient hieroglyphs? Oh, right. A European, a foreigner, a Frenchman. He actually gave a good goddamn. So where am I going with all this? None of these motherfuckers give a fuck until the current fucking era. Let me tell you something, fucking Arabs. You can't fucking be trusted with historical things. You know why? Because you're all a bunch of fucking Islamists, or at the very least, they fucking are violent enough to control you in small fucking groups, and they blow shit up from the fucking ancient world. It's actually fucking safe in the British Museum. Why the fuck do you want it back? I'll tell you why they want it back. The fucking tourism fucking dollars. Until some jihadis get some fucking dynamite in their hands and blow it up because it's an idol to some ancient god that no one worships anyway. So you want it back? Go fuck yourself.
Based Polly.
And that's my thought on the matter.
I can appreciate that perspective because, like, yes, it was in a state of decay and probably would have continued to decay to the detriment of the artifacts that are now, in current day, safely tucked away in some British museum somewhere. So, I mean... And
taken care of by curators who are highly knowledgeable and actually give a damn and wear white gloves before they touch anything. Like the extreme clinical level of care that they take, as opposed to handing it over to a bunch of fucking... Oh, no, I'll stop there before I get into descriptors.
I definitely appreciate that perspective because part of the thing, like, so when I went to Greece, right, I didn't go to Egypt when I could have. I was given the opportunity to. I didn't. I went to France instead because I thought it would be more fun. Probably wasn't as fun as it could have been, but I did go to, yeah, Blind Patriot. I enjoyed Weebo's channel. Rip. Thanks, Polly.
It was so fun. 6 years you made it. And then just over the line of 6 years, boom.
But yeah, so I went to Greece, and one of the things that constantly got mentioned was the fact that some of the statuary had been taken from these Greek monuments, these ancient Greek monuments, during, obviously, when the time when the British, I can't exactly remember the time period, but the time when the British had come to Greece, grabbed shit, brought it back home with them. So there were missing statuary in certain areas, and they just kind of picked and chose which ones they wanted. Not all of them, but some of them were left behind. And so they obviously took the better looking ones, and so the Greek government had to create like replicas of things that they didn't have and put them in place of the actual statuary or where it would have been. So that sucks, but at the same time also you have to consider that around this time period, in this time period, like, we have several wars, and Greece happened to be involved in some conflicts at certain points in time, and as a result, a lot of the damage that you see on the statuary that wasn't picked up by the British and brought back to Britain a lot of the damage that you see is a result of having lived through those wars as well. So I mean, it's not just disrepair, but it can also be conflict in that area as well, that, or not disrepair, but like just general decay from being not cared for properly. But it can also be conflicts in that area that greatly harm the surface of the actual artifacts, or the statues. The statues are the big ones because they're very obvious and they're outside for the most part, and they're left unprotected in the elements. So they're going to have some erosion happen because of being outside and exposed to the elements. That's not super unavoidable. Unless, of course, you take steps to not do that. But a lot of these are freaking buildings, too, is the thing.
You know what? Yeah, I agree with what you're saying totally. Mm-hmm. It and also just straight up like, okay, bomb and bullet damage. It happens. Looking at the history of Last Supper, mm-hmm. the fresco, mm-hmm. Fascinating, especially just what happened to it during World War II alone. Like the building it was in was bombed the fuck out. It is literally painted upon a wall. It is a fresco, meaning, as Weebo knows, painted upon fresh plaster. That's what makes it a fresco. So it's not like you can pick up the frame it's in and move it somewhere else. It's not like that. It kind of needs to stay where it's at, if you know.
Roll for
nice.
Initiative, he told me. It's 5. You got 5. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, sorry, continue. You're talking about the Last Supper.
No, so things, and a great amount of damage if you look at the Last Supper as it actually appears today, from a combination of war, combination of age, and a combination of the strange paints that the artist was messing with, including egg whites and whatnot. It's just, oh God, it's just flaking and falling off. It's really tragic. Mm-hmm. The way that it looks. It's like if you've ever been to the National Archives and seen the Declaration of Independence, it's tragic the way that it looks right now. Oh my God. The parts of it are gone. Absolutely unreadable. What's that? It was hanging in a lawyer's office for 50 years facing the rising sun. Oh my God. It's written on vellum, which is animal skin, using iron gall ink. And so what do you think the sun did to it for 50 years straight? Bleached the fucking ink. And so it's just, look up a picture of what it actually looks like today. It's just tragic.
Speaking of botch preservation, you want to talk about botched restorations?
Yeah, botch restorations are great. That's the worst one ever. I remember that one so well.
The 19th century Spanish fresco. How we go from Jesus to splotchy Jesus to monkey Jesus.
The monkey Jesus. I mean, look at how beautiful the top left-hand corner the woman is in the original, and look what how they massacred my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy.
It's just, she's so flat and two-dimensional. Like the original, look at the dimension, the dimensionality to it, the depth and whatnot. That's just, it's gorgeous. And it's a massacre. It's a fucking massacre.
Let's look at an article of botched restorations, because now I kind of want to look at 5 restoration fails that will blow your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Or fails. I want more than just like 5. I want a whole bunch. Ah, yes, there we go. Okay, all right. We have So Bad They're Brilliant. See the 17 most bizarre and completely outlandish art restoration fails of all time.
Nice.
Looks like Weebo. Credible threat. Don't be rude. I am not Monkey Jesus. Okay, alright. Let me... go away. So, here we have a restoration. I don't know why. Why is this one bad?
Smoothness has been removed. I was watching a
It looks
documentary about restoration and the care that they go through
Mm-hmm.
because of centuries upon centuries upon centuries of burning paraffin candles in a church, for example.
Mm-hmm.
There's this layer of soot on it and an extremely carefully concocted mixture to remove. It just takes the surface layer of soot off and will not interact with the oils
Mm-hmm.
of the paint, right? And when you see it come off, it's like, oh my God, that painting was never intended to be anywhere near that dark. It's just got to, somebody turn the contrast way
Yeah.
the fuck down.
Oh yeah.
And you see this really kind of cool layer of just soot just sort of slough off of it. And then they were going back and forth where it's like, or are we removing, because like Da Vinci, for example, his technique was layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of paint, and that's how you get that incredible smoothness that is so indicative of his work.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just layer on layer on layer on layer on layer, and then you get these really rounded cheekbones and jaw lines and stuff, and that's how. And you're kind of destroying that. You might think you're just removing soot, but you're actually removing one of the several thousands of layers of paint that he put on there. Anyway, it was back and forth, and it was really interesting. And so I'm guessing, sorry for all the yammer, that maybe some of the smoothness has been removed because it just looks like somebody turned the definition up. It
Yeah.
And that's a problem because it's not what the artist intended. I don't know.
Maybe. But this looks, if anything, just brighter. I can't
Yeah.
really tell if there is a super difference. But this is Leonardo da Vinci's The Virgin and Child with St. Anne, 1503, the Louvre, Paris. I did not see that. when I was
Return
a
it to
kid.
Italy.
You know, the Louvre, alright, you can. There's so
Oh,
much
God.
art at the Louvre. Like,
Oh
you.
God! It went from a statue to a bad mannequin in a department store. Oh Lord! It hurts the eyes.
Yeah, this one is very obviously atrocious looking. This is number 3. Wait, hang on. The Pyramid of Dusor in Egypt? What? Let me see this. It doesn't appear to have any style information associated with it. Fine. We'll look at it somewhere else. Because now I'm curious. How dare they take that away from me? I don't... Like, I know this pyramid. But is this the restoration? Am curious. Restoratini. No. I have no fucking clue. Okay, anyway. Polly, you still there?
I am.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Side tangent. I had to check. I was curious.
I hear you.
But yeah, this one looks a little bit ridiculous. Shiny is one word that I would use, but also lacking in actual, like, definition. She looks like a porcelain doll. I'll tell you that.
The eyeliner that they put on her. Why didn't you just go ahead and put lame 2016 SJW girl cat eye eyeliner on her? Looking at you, Sean Head. There, I said it. Fine.
And I don't particularly like the fact that they went all the way to the edge of the eyelid, or the eye, with the
What
brow.
makes them... Yeah, what makes them think that the eyebrows were supposed to be that pronounced? Like, okay, I get it. Maybe they thought some of the pigment had worn off. But, I mean, her skin tone. Tell me that's... Because if you look at the background color, it's quite different. So is that a tonal photography thing? Because they made her look like she has jaundice. It doesn't even... it doesn't even look right anymore, the skin tone.
They didn't just, like, remake up her face, though. Apparently it was the robe as well. So, yeah, I think they just kind of gave her a makeover and was like, we need to liven this place up. What are the kids doing these days?
Right?
Drawing their
just
eyebrows on, pencil thin? Check!
None of the Like, look at all the beautiful shadow around her eyes. Again, depth, right?
Yes.
And then in the other one, just flat. Like, you could be convinced that's a two-dimensional image on the right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, do you even need to add different colors to certain areas of the face in order to imitate the shadow if it's carved in such a way as to
That's what I'm saying.
imitate the face shape?
Is it a photography thing where the light is just falling well in the first picture, so thus the depth is what's creating the shadow, or is there actual pigment applied there? And then on the right, it's just washed straight out because somebody put a flash on it.
I think we could say partially yes, because look, right, the most of the light is coming from like this side of the face. You can see that the glare is predominantly coming from the lower region right here and over here. But over here, you can see it's coming from here, it's coming from here, it's coming from, you know, both sides. So I do think that maybe she might be a little bit more washed out. And that's why she looks washed out.
Yeah.
But definitely I do think also when they evened out her skin tone, they fucking took ceramic, porcelain, white, glossy paint and just went ham all over her face. And that was that.
It looks like they dunked it.
Yeah.
In a big old vat, you know, and then repainted her face on after they did the dunk.
Mm-hmm. And it does not look good.
No.
I also think they probably gave it like a nice glossy finish too, because in the original one you can see it's not as shiny as over here. This, it looks pretty shiny.
Yes.
Yes. Oh. Saint Anthony of Padua statue, 19th century, Soledad, Colombia. So we go from, you know.
I don't want to talk about what I see in the restoration. Like guy they just pulled out of a gay club in the middle of a ketamine rush.
That's
like
an Instagram influencer.
Right. Yes.
He has eyeshadow, Polly.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Lipstick and whatnot. I mean, holy shit.
His contour game, though, I must say, is very and his eyebrows. Look at his eyebrows. They're just
he's plucked them to perfection. Mm-hmm. And look at the product in his hair. I mean, this is a man who knows style. Yeah.
This is another example of what are the kids doing these days?
Right? We need to make them modern. Apparently, they equate modern with femboy.
They did it to the baby a little bit too. You can kind of see.
Lord have mercy.
You know, baby's got some blush going on right there.
Oh, Jesus. So bad.
He's got such dark eyeshadow too. Why would you do that? Like, okay, all right, fine. Make his eyes a little bit poppier with some eyeshadow. But why are we going that dark? What is he trying to do? Is he going to the club? I think not. He's St. Anthony. Oh my boy. Oh my boy.
Wow. I just all the wow.
St. George, circa 16th century, Church of St. Miguel or San Miguel and de Estella in Navarre, Spain.
That's my boy St. George, like the Dragon Slayer, St. George of England, St. George.
I guess I'm not sure 100%.
Oh no!
You know,
it looks like a really bad 1980s anime. You know what I mean? Like the oversized eyes and everything.
Well, if you look real close, one eye is bigger than the other. They're not looking in the same direction either. He kind of looks like a dope, like a derp, like, you know? It's like, I'm gonna go lead the dragon. That's exactly what this is. Yes, dear.
He does. I mean, yeah, that he's gone full derp.
No favors were done here for this man. Poor St. George. Wait, hang on. At a cost of the church of $37,000, the artwork was successfully re-restored to its appearance. Okay, alright. The church and the company responsible were both fined $6,000 initially for the really horrific looking thing. Let's see the re-restoration, because they re-restored it apparently, so. That was the original. That is the current.
Right.
Okay. Alright. Alright. Let me... Can I, like, zoom in on this? Can I open image in new tab? There we go. Ah! Oh my god. I mean, that looks a little bit better. We're not getting the same close-up. I wish we could be getting.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It looks less derpy. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Are you sure he's not high? I don't know. He could be. He could be extremely high. But yeah. Oh, no. Let's... Okay, I think we're ready.
Pride Buddha.
Buddha statue, circa 1000 BC. Anye, China. You know, the Buddha was actually not super fat. But most Chinese depictions of the Buddha are of him being super chunky.
Yeah, how many times I've used that point? It's like, what was the original guy described to be like? Really tall, lanky, with a top knot, because he was a South Asian man, an Indian man.
Yes.
Really tall and lanky with a top knot. And it's like, okay, so why is he a fat, bald, laughing Asian man? Isn't this the worst kind of cultural appropriation? And it's like, no, it only matters when people make Jesus white. Oh.
Well, it doesn't make any sense for the Buddha to have any, like, just the biggest thing that I have a contention with is the Buddha is not fat. The Buddha literally, anything to do with Buddhism means that there is no overindulgence. In fact, there might be even an underindulgence for the person who's a practicing Buddhist monk, who practices Buddhism in order to achieve enlightenment. There is an underabundance of everything in their life because it's minimalism to the point of almost excess, if that makes any sense. And that's one of the, I don't want to say tenets, but that's part of how you achieve enlightenment is less.
Yeah, well,
so,
disattachment. Not lack of attachment, and so attachment to whatever, sex, love, the world, food, drink.
Exactly. So for a Buddha statue to be fat, it kind of misses the whole point of Buddhism. But anyway.
But I appreciate woke gay Buddha, don't you?
Do you?
Pride Buddha.
Pride Buddha.
I mean, what are the kids doing these days? Notice how often we can use this joke?
What are the kids doing these days? Yeah, I know.
I'm really into that pride thing. Oh, okay. Rainbows it is. It's what's going on the Twitters? Well, there's a lot of pride flags everywhere. Got it.
Well, let's just slap one on there and call it a day. He kind of reminds me of a drag queen in this picture.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Buddhism. Oh my god. I'm having a struggle. Alright, next one.
I'm okay with Buddhism.
Pakli Ada Castle, circa 100 BC, Sile Turkey. Is it Sile Turkey or is it Sile Turkey?
I mean, okay, you know why I'm laughing. It's just like that might have been what it originally looked like. It's just so Minecrafty, you know what I mean? It's
it kind of has a nice little face on the front.
Of course it does. It's the best part. I mean, it's like whoa, like the anime face of whoa. It's got the surprise Pikachu face,
Yeah.
It's.
I don't know if surprise Pikachu face is exactly where I would go with that. It kind of reminds me of like a skeptical Asian man going, ugh. At least that's my take. Okay, next one. Castle of Matrera, 9th century, Villamartin, Spain.
Can't help but think you didn't use the original stone. I don't know what it is. Something.
Mm?
Uh,
The juxtaposition. Do you think that was the point? No, I mean, like, I understand what they were going for.
Look, it looks
It
like
didn't land.
right. It looks like CGI. Like, okay, here's the castle. Now we're gonna CGI on this is its original extent. The wall went up and blah blah blah. Like somebody digitally imposed that on top of it.
Yeah.
Which would have been a far better thing to have done in the digital world as opposed to, actually mortaring that shit to it.
Well, because now you can't go back from there. Like, if you had built it up again, cobblestone by cobblestone, you would have been fine. But now that you've essentially covered it with a whole layer of cement, you've effectively locked those bricks in for the rest of the foreseeable future. So if you wanted to do a restoration of that, or you wanted to preserve those individual bricks, you wouldn't be able to now, because you'd have to take the whole thing apart. And you'd have to like finally chisel away at everything, and it would take you for fucking ever. So yeah, this is for fucking ever. There was a lack of foresight on here. Someone was not consulted about this decision. Boyfriend's mocking me. Alright. Polly.
Yes. That's. Oh,
I don't even think we're looking at the same picture.
I'm waiting for it to depixel.
Oh.
It's sort of pixeled out on me right
Hang
now.
on. Is it still pixely for you?
Yes.
Here, let me stop streaming and then restream. Or stop sharing and then reshare. Go live. Okay, how about now?
Yes, there we go.
There you go. I don't think I'm looking at the same picture here. Do you?
You're right. What the hell? Where's the red tassel from the heavens in the original?
Yeah, where's the red tassel? Where's, like, the background here at all? Where are the two, like, ladies who have the fans that are fanning this gentleman right here? Where is the gentleman right here? I don't know. One of the ancient Buddhist frescoes in Yunji Temple in Chaoyang, northeast China, that has now been covered by cartoon-like paintings as part of a restoration. Okay, so it's not been restored, it's been covered up.
Gotcha. So, I mean, they basically just used the space for a new painting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they did. Because this has nothing to do with this.
Oh, Daniel Fulman, that's a cold question to ask. We've been to Greece. I haven't been to Greece.
Where have you... Oh, Weebo's been the ancient ruins. What is the oldest historical place you have been to? Polly? Anywhere interesting?
Yeah, but nowhere as old as you. Shut up.
I'm not... It's not me bragging. I'm just asking.
Nah, I know. Oldest place I've ever been to... University of Glasgow, 8th century.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Not in its current location, but the building was picked up and moved there in the... Holy Christ, it's been in its current locations for centuries, but the building itself was originally from the 8th century, and then many centuries ago moved to its current location.
Yeah.
So yeah, old dirt. I mean, holy shit. But you've been to Greece, so what's the oldest place you've been to? The Parthenon's standing spot?
Knossos, technically, is the oldest place that I've been to. The palace on Crete.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Mycenaean Greek came before the Greek that you're referring to, which would be the classical era. The more classical era. So, like, there's Mycenaean Greek. I think Mycenaean Greek. Bronze Age. If I'm remembering my history correctly. Now I'm not so sure. Ah! Nope. Do 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 do. Oh, okay. All right. So I was talking about the Bronze Age. So the Minoan and the Mycenaean Greek palaces, I have been to those, so that would be the oldest. So it would be the Bronze Age. I was getting those confused as the same thing, but they're as not the same thing, but they are the same thing. So after that, it would be obviously the Greek Dark Ages, and which would be the Homeric Ages, right? So
Right.
that's where you get all of the legends and stories and whatnot that you hear about in ancient Greek mythology supposedly happened during this period of time, right?
Homer time?
No, before Homer time. Because Homeric age would have been telling stories from previous years, right? So if we're in the Greek Dark Ages, it makes sense for them to be talking about things that happened before. So the Bronze Age, the age of heroes, essentially. So then after that, we have the Archaic Period and the Classical Period and then the Hellenistic Period. So I have... Yeah, I've been to locations where all of these were present. All of these different ages. My favorite had to be either the Hellenistic or the Classical Period. But I did enjoy the Bronze Age. That was fun too. But yeah, anytime you hear a story that has to do with, like, Homer, or not Homer, the Iliad, the Odyssey, and I guess we could always throw in the Aeneid. Those all took place during the Bronze Age, or were supposed to have taken place during the Bronze Age.
I was waiting for the donation to pop up, but it didn't happen, so I'll just read it. Thank you, next 6 minutes for the $1. These restorations kill my artist's soul. I must avert my gaze, lest me be damned to start scrapbooking with my tattered soul.
Did they
I
not
hear you,
pop
man.
up?
But nothing happened
Oh,
on
hang
screen.
on. Hold up.
Well, there wasn't even sound.
There we go.
There it is.
Try it.
Okay.
Try it again. Sorry, I didn't have it included in this page for whatever reason.
Freedom.
Sorry.
Thank you, 6. Freedom.
But yeah.
You know how long it took me to do that Winking Washington?
How long?
Well, I had
long?
to do it frame by frame. Like
Yeah.
I found a high-res copy of the dollar, and then I've got the other one that's the winking eye pyramid, and then glowy things coming off of it.
Yeah.
It's all very Illuminati, and it also winks and says, "Freemasons control the country." And that both of those eyes winking was I was watching Deadwing Dork with Far, and it took like the full 4 or 5 hour stream to do those two.
No, I'm just repositioning my own Streamlabs alert so that they're both over the same thing. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to match these up because they're not even. It's gonna piss me off. I'll do that later. This is an ancient mosaic.
It looks reversed. It looks like the fixed one is on the left.
I know, right? I mean, this one doesn't look great beforehand anyway. It kind of looks a little bit scary. Like, this is the thing my nightmares consist of.
I mean, mosaics are what they are, right? Just colored stone, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're going to be a little pixelated, you know, ancient world pixels.
But it's
tiles.
not the pixelation that gets me. It's the the boring stare into a faraway nothingness that really kind of just jars me. Does that come off to you? Right over here? This?
Okay. Yep. I see it.
Ooh. Freaks me out. But yeah, this looks like the before, this looks like the after. What did they do to this poor mosaic? A local craftsman was the first to raise a red flag over restoration being done at the Hatay Archaeological Museum in Turkey. On mosaics from the 2nd to 16th centuries, the photos were damning with delicate figures appearing distorted and fine details lost. Gross. The Cultural Tourism Ministry denied that there was any problem, claiming that the photos taken during the initial phase of the restoration work and that they would soon be restored to their original splendor. Restorer Silal Kukuk also defended his work, but the pictures speak for themselves. So, I'd hate to speak ill of any individual country and compare their tourism industries to each other. But, if you want my opinion, my experience as a tourist in Greece was far superior to that of my experience as a tourist in Turkey.
I'm shocked.
That's all I'll say on the matter. I will not delve into details. Mary and Baby Jesus statue at St. Anne de Pin's Catholic Church, Sudbury, Ontario. What am I looking at?
What'd you do? Just use some fucking Play-Doh?
I think they made Jesus into a little gremlin. It certainly appears that way to me.
Wow.
What the fuck? What did it look like before? Heather Wise's attempted restoration of a statue of Jesus. With local hoodlums repeatedly decapitating a statue of Mary holding a baby Jesus. When the head finally disappeared for good, local artist Heather Wise offered to replace it free of charge, and the church happily accepted, given that her professional estimate was just $10,000 Canadian. Spiky-headed red monstrosity that became a Twitter sensation. How do you even... How? Just... What? How? See, this is why I never get things done for free.
Right? I'm sending you a picture.
Okay.
Because you just spoke of Turkey and something in terms of, not exactly restoration, but like Istanbul and whatnot, Constantinople. And you made me think of this. So. Okay, so you see this picture, right? Mm-hmm. So inside the Hagia Sophia church that after the invading hordes took over Constantinople and turned it into Istanbul. What did they do? Well, they can't build anything of their own. They are literally, I made this, the religion. So it's like, oh, well, we'll just convert your church into a mosque. It's fine. I adore this picture. I'm not sure if everyone can clue into why. Because, you can put up your squiggly ramen noodle writing all you fucking want from your 7th century caravan robbing pedophilic prophet. But every time you look up, what are you going to see? The Virgin Mary and the baby Jesus, because it's an integral part of the wall. And unless you want to tear the whole dome down, you're gonna have to live with it.
I'm surprised they didn't cover it up with paint, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't. But maybe they couldn't build a ladder to get them up there.
God. Well, it's not a far stretch to get from here, or from here to here, so...
Imagine the Herculean effort they had to go into to get those giant fucking discs of blasphemy up there.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
A bit. Some effort there.
I haven't succeeded in destroying your channel quite yet, so I'm gonna keep at it. We'll get there. We'll get there, Weebo.
Yeah. What about this?
Can you? I don't know. It's all pixel. I mean, the colors are horrific, but
I can't see it exactly. But here, do you want me to just send you the link so you can follow along?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. There you go. We're at number 12. Religious sculptures in the 15th century. Renadorio, Spain. Let me know when you get there.
Yeah, hold on. No script is like blocking everything and breaking it. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll down, 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 down. Oh, there's
Gross.
woke Buddha. Oh God! I just see the baby Jesus Play-Doh head in full res now. Jesus Christ!
It's worse than
Oh
you thought
my
it was.
Lord! I'm there. I'm seeing it. That's something. Whew.
Why such
Candy coated.
vibrant color?
Why didn't you just leave the wood the way it was? It looks great.
It really does.
All that rich, dark woodiness. I don't know.
This kind of reminds me of statuary in Greece, right? So they have the statues, and because of weathering and, the sun and just general age happening to these ancient statues, they've lost all of their color because they used to be painted. They used to be completely painted, full, like, from head to toe, colors representing exactly what it is that they were supposed to be representing.
Yeah, I've seen.
But they're in museums unpainted now. And I think, personally, they look much better as unpainted statuary. But that's just me. I think they look much better. Because I've seen painted versions of these statues. I don't like them.
Yeah, I was reading an article about, because you see some of the paintings and they're like, oh my God, like the painted statues. The guy who's on one knee with a bow and arrow comes to mind. I forget where that was from. Ancient Greece, possibly. And it's like, how did you know what colors were there? And that was actually very interesting. The archaeologists there's pigments in the deepest little recesses of the sculpture where they can dig it out and they know what color was there because of the tiny, tiny microscopic amounts of paint pigment that are left in the recesses. So they can reconstruct the color quite easily. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much better in just white marble.
I think, yeah, 100%. Like, here's Marcus Aurelius, I think, right? Painted.
No, I think that's Augustus, isn't it? Octavian?
Oh, Augustus.
I can't see
My
it. It's so
bad.
small on my screen. Is it Augustus?
Yeah, it is Augustus. Yeah. No paint. Paint. No paint. Paint. I don't like it.
Yeah. Much better in just straight marble.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the guy on the bow on his knee. Look at him. Look at him.
Yep.
Yeah, looking good, buddy. Looking real good.
No paint. Paint. No paint. Paint.
Huh.
I mean, you can do it in such a way that it looks fine, but you can't use frickin' neon colors.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I think in this case, this isn't the original, it's a replica, and they just painted it to give you the impression of what it would look like if it were painted.
I had always gathered and sincerely hoped that that was the idea, you know?
Uh-huh. At least I hope.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Mm-mm. Okay. The Great Wall of China. 1381. In 2016, the world was shocked to discover that restorers had essentially paved over 1.2-mile section of the Great Wall of China, built during the Ming Dynasty in 1381, to prevent the crumbling edifice from falling into further disrepair. Workers poured a mix of lime and sand atop the structure, completely disregarding the original crenellations and towers. This was vandalism done in the name of preservation, said Liu Fusheng, a county park officer at the time. Even the little kids wouldn't here know that this repair of the Great Wall was botched. So, in an effort to keep it from crumbling, they ended up fucking it up. Okay. Well, actually, part of the reason probably why it crumbles or why it's in such a state of disrepair is because it is such a common tourist attraction and people are forever walking on it. So, obviously, you're going to have some wear and tear. That's why, at certain sites in Greece, you're only allowed to step in certain areas because they don't want people to step on the actual monuments and cause them further wear and tear. I mean, they're already suffering from weathering. They don't need your footsteps all over them, especially with the sheer volume of visitors that they get every year. Yeah.
The next one is priceless.
The
Thank you for giving the prime evidence of my previous argument.
The Mask of Tutankhamun, Egyptian Museum, Cairo.
Read the text.
When staff, do you want me to read the caption or the actual text?
The text.
All right. When staff at Cairo's Egyptian...
Ooh, Weebo legs. That's what I call those now.
Really?
Yeah. Those are. If you watch AAA, anytime it comes up, I'm like, ooh, Weebo legs.
Oh my god.
I tell everyone that it's it's a clip I got. I found it online.
Oh my
Weebo's
god.
Gritty Gorilla Grip donated $3.08. Thank you very much. Hi, Polly. Hello, Weebo's Gritty Gorilla Grip.
I don't know what's going on. Do I have a gritty gorilla grip? I don't even know what that means.
Well,
Polly.
I made it dirty. I don't know. What was it? Was I not supposed to? It was.
I don't know.
Was,
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so when staff at Cairo's Egyptian Museum snapped the beard off of a 3,300-year-old funerary mask of King Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun. Oh, fuck. They panicked and tried to quickly glue it back on using industrial strength epoxy. Oh, no!
Okay, what did I say? Look at all the glue drip down onto his neck, and they freaked out, and you snapped it off? What was I talking about? People in the British Museum, curators that handle everything with white gloves and clinical-like precision.
Before they started gluing, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They snapped it off, and their immediate response was, okay, let's go down to 7-Eleven and get some epoxy.
Industrial strength.
Yeah, and do the world's shit. Look at all the globs of it coming out from the outside. I mean, this is what I mean. It's y'all don't know what you're doing. You can't be trusted with a bunch of cultural artifacts that predate your invasion of that land by millennia. You don't own them. Go fuck yourself. You can't be trusted. There, I said it. And here's the proof.
It's not that they just glued it back on.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. See? That's the win. Look at that. Hello. Hi.
What's a snail trail? I'm reading the donation and I don't know what a snail trail is.
Doc donated $5.56. Thank you for the 556.
Should I Google it or will I get kicked off of YouTube?
Best I could come up with. Hard to stop Weebo massive snail trail. Hard to top Weebo massive snail trail. Excuse me. Yeah, go to Urban Dictionary. You'll find out.
I'm going to look this up, not on the main screen where we're looking at things. Snail trail. This trail of hair spans the area from your pubic hair up to your belly button in a thin line. That's not...
I guess. Yeah, that's not what I know a snail trail to be. But I mean, you know how Urban Dictionary is. It keeps going.
Oh, the secretions of the vagina.
There you go. That's what I had assumed.
Gross! Gross. I'm upset. Gross. Anyway, it was nothing short of disaster, and the problem was only exacerbated when they tried to scrape off the glue, scratching the historic antiquity.
Jesus Christ, I didn't read that far. That was your solution, huh? Let's just get out a fucking hobby knife and go at it.
Fortunately, a German conservator was able to remove the glue and restore the mask. Kudos to the white man.
Well, I was just about to say, and you had to bring in a European to do it right. What a shock.
I'm gonna save this for the next Halloween special, because I think I found it. Yep. God damn it. Fucking shit. Leonardo da Vinci's Orpheus being attacked by the Furies private collection. Ooh, private collection. Where is he getting attacked by Furies? Not furries, ladies and gentlemen. Furies. Completely different.
Yeah.
You know what's bad? When no photos ever resulted to show a work of art's restoration. Someone didn't edit this. In 2001, Leonardo da Vinci expert Carlo Pendretti discovered a lost Leonardo drawing in the collection of one Stefano Della Bella. The sketch, Orpheus being attacked by the Furies, was believed to have come from the Codex Atlanticus, compiled from various Leonardo notebooks by the sculptor Pompeo Leone,
I think.
The good news was short-lived. Pedretti soon announced that a team of colossally uninformed restorers had destroyed his historical artwork by treating it with water and alcohol without first testing the ink for solubility. Thanks to the boneheaded oversight, the delicate drawing disappeared. Writing in the Milan daily Corriere della Sera, Pedretti expresses hope that chemical or nuclear experiments might recover the lost image, but the damage was sadly irreversible. Holy fuck. Whew.
That's rough.
Yeah, so there is...
So an undiscovered Da Vinci in a private collection was destroyed by guys with rubbing alcohol.
Yeah. Yes. And then this is the most, I think, famous...
Legend.
Botched restoration. Elias Garcia Martinez, Ecce Homo. 1930, Sanctuary of Mercy Church, Borja, Spain. We all know. We're all familiar.
Yeah. Jesus. Literally, oh man.
Cecilia Giménez put her small Spanish town on the map when her hilariously inept attempts to restore a religious painting of Jesus in the Crown of Thorns went viral. The 82-year-old had the best of intentions when she set to work on the rapidly deteriorating fresco, but her skills were not quite up to the task, to put it lightly. The finished product, universally mocked as Beast Jesus or Ecce Mano, Behold the Monkey, had the unexpected result of turning Borja into a destination for tens of thousands of sightseers eager to behold the infamous restoration job for themselves. And she became an unlikely celebrity. Let's not make this a habit. Like, oh, you know
I mean,
what we
you
could do?
fucked around in Photoshop. That's what looks like someone's done. They've just used like the smear tool and have just like gone to town on it. Yeah.
Let me smooth this out. Oh no. I think I know what the title of the stream is.
Didn't she realize about like a couple hours into her work that this isn't going well? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely know exactly what we're gonna call the stream now. Behold the Monkey Cocktail Hour.
Nice.
There you go. Saved and finished. Oh gosh. Reject God, return to monk. Yeah, exactly. Precisely. So, Polly, what would you do if you had to restore something? Like, would you take it to a professional?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't try it yourself?
And want to take a look at their portfolio?
Be like, can I see what you've restored so far from this specific era that this specific painting existed in by this specific artist? Like, have you ever done anything else in this vein of anything at all ever?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Give me reasons to think that the materials you're going to use aren't going to fuck things up. Like, Oh, look, I got some rubbing alcohol from the local CVS. I'm just going to pour it on this,
Ooh.
priceless sketch by, a globally famous artist. It's fine.
Let me just pour it on this thing and then find out what happens. We don't know.
It was like in National Treasure when they were rubbing the Declaration of Independence with lemon juice. I actually love that movie. It's so
Yeah.
corny, but it's so fun at the same time.
Yeah.
I love it. They managed to turn, the founding fathers into like a heist drama comedy. It was
I
good.
know, right?
Like I said, it's totally corny, but it's so much fun.
I like the concept. It's original. It's refreshing compared to like all of the other copy paste movies that have been put out
Yeah,
now.
and it's not. How can I say it? I was reading about the original plot where it's like, what was it? The producer wanted to purchase the rights to Dan Brown's book, The Da Vinci Code,
Yeah.
and I forget what happened there. I forget the detail.
It didn't
They were
work out.
all, yeah, the rights were already purchased, or they were too expensive, or there was some kind of legal battle, something like
Yeah.
that. And he said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to do the Da Vinci Code Americana." And it's like, yeah, you know what? Bluntly spoken, I like National Treasure way more than the Da Vinci Code, because the Da Vinci Code,
The movie or the book? Did you read the book?
yeah, with its 6-page chapters, yes, it did. But see, here's the thing. I've also read Holy Blood, Holy Grail.
Uh-huh.
I read that like back in high school. So it's like I already read this book, just not in novelization fiction form.
I've never heard of Holy Blood, Holy Grail.
The writers of Holy Blood, Holy Grail, Michael Badgett and Richard Lee, I believe are their names. Three-person team. I don't even remember two of them. It is a nonfiction book where they posit the notion of the book that the Holy Grail is not in fact a physical cup. It's the bloodline of Christ, et cetera, et cetera. And that is the big secret of the Priory of Sion. And yeah, it's the plot of
Yeah.
the Da Vinci Code. And the Priory is like had these leaders throughout history and big secrets and so on and so forth. And the whole thing turned out to be very interesting. A mixture of a scam by one guy and also a overly intense research on the researcher's part. But Holy Blood, Holy Grail is worth reading, and just in the sense that it's kind of a page turner.
Yeah.
And then to find out what happened later, because I think that book came out like 1982 or something like that. And it's a big like historical detective work kind of book, and intended to be nonfiction. But then, like I said, it turned out to be partially fraudulent, not on the author's part, but like somebody scamming them. But then also a lot of overly zealous research on their part, and a lot of leaps in logic on their part.
I think
So like anyway,
overly zealous in research, though.
yeah. And just you guys are looking too far into stuff and eisegetically reading into things where it's like you're not really at fault. This just isn't the best research methodology. So again, I'm not trying to criticize them. It's just whatever. They sued Dan Brown, where it's like you ripped our book off, and they lost because over specifically the point that Dan Brown's work is fiction and your book, you yourselves say, is nonfiction. If a fiction author cannot use nonfiction as a basis for their story, what good is that? You can't write a
horrible precedent in
you can't write historical fiction. Then you're fucked. And it's like, yeah, but this is our original research, and it's like, yeah, so what? If somebody came up with an original piece of research about an original book about Napoleon, let's say, and then somebody made a whole historical fiction based on that book, what, they can't do that? And so, yeah, they lost. And the part that I find unfortunate, I wish they had won, but I don't want the precedent to win. I just want it to be much more widely known that movie and that book are total fucking fiction, because the amount of people that I've encountered that believe that they're watching real history and that Tom Hanks is telling them about real history, and it's like, guys, no, this is
bullshit. It's made up. None
it's
of it's true.
Opus Dei is the Catholic Church's arm of destruction, and they secret squad of hitmen, and they're trying to keep secret the sacred feminine. Let me see if I get this right. the Catholic Church is desperate to hide the sacred feminine. Desperate to the point of murder and millennia's worth of secret keeping and spending God knows how much money and time and effort, all to keep secret the sacred feminine. This is the same church that is globally criticized for deifying Mary and turning her into a demigod. And this doesn't create a little bit of cognitive dissonance in your mind. I'm just saying. If there's anybody who's really into the sacred feminine, would it not be the Roman Catholic Church? But no, I guess not.
The next 6 minutes says that National Treasure 3 is actually in pre-production, and I cannot personally wait for Nicolas Cage to impregnate the Statue of Liberty.
Yes, I'll watch it. I'll totally watch it. And I mean, Nicolas Cage is just being Nicolas Cage in that movie. I think that's one of the fun things about it. It's not Wicker Man where he's being full on Nicolas Cage, not the bees and so forth. But it's that movie is just so bad. Yeah. Wicker Man. It's just so stupid. There's none of the fun heist stuff and historical mystery stuff of National Treasure.
I haven't seen that movie, but I've seen that scene. I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah. National Treasure is fun because it is fun, and no one told Nicolas Cage no, which was probably the best.
Yeah. The actress who works off of him, I forget her name, she does really well working off of him, and the comic relief, his little buddy that like does all the tech work and stuff, he's got clearly a gift for comedic timing because he lands his lines just that movie's just popcorn fun. Exactly. See it if you haven't. It's
I don't mind.
And it's got Sean Bean, and he doesn't die. Ha!
Oh, wait, no. The guy in the second movie does die.
Yeah. Mr. Adam, I prefer Face Off, as do I. But that's an apples and cinder blocks comparison.
Indeed.
Yeah. Have you seen Face Off, Weebo?
I'm pretty sure I know I've seen that one scene. Then I know you know what I'm talking about. The one where he's in the church, right, with the choir kids.
One where yes, yeah.
But I'm not sure if I've actually seen the full movie. See, that's the problem. Is I've seen a lot of out of context scenes from movies that I don't 100% remember actually seeing, and so it confuses me as to whether or not I've actually seen the movie or if I know that scene is from that movie, and it's a thing in my brain. So I think I have to see it again.
It's worth watching again. That movie is John Woo and nobody telling him no.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I got Nicolas Cage and I have John Travolta, and I'm to make an American action movie because he's a famous Hong Kong filmmaker. I'm a huge fan of his stuff. And especially his film starring Chow Yun-fat, be it A Better Tomorrow, The Killer, Hard Boiled, all incredible Hong Kong action films. It's like, so I'm going to make an American action film now. All right, and you witness the results. Holy shit! And it's just watching John Travolta do an impression of Nicolas Cage for half the movie because they've switched bodies, and now he's supposed to be like, I am Nick Cage. It's just that's half the fun of that movie. It's just Travolta impersonating Nick Cage.
So Daniel Fullman asked if, speaking of solving puzzles, have you done an escape room? I have, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I don't know if Polly has, though. Polly, have you done an escape room before?
I haven't.
You would enjoy it. I'm reasonably sure that you would enjoy doing an escape room. But you got to do it with, like, friends. Because it's more fun that way. I mean, you can do it probably by yourself. But you want to do it with more than one person because, yeah, you can solve the problems probably all by yourself. But you want, like, the lackeys to go off and do the puzzle-solving thing for you, too. Like, here, you get me that thing, or you get me that thing from that side of the room, or you look at that thing and read off to me exactly what numbers, letters, and colors you see so that I can input them into this thing right here. It's really handy to have a second pair of eyes. At least one.
Mr. Adam brings up an interesting point. So you remember the scene where Nick grab some ass.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I remember that
So
scene.
let me see if I get this straight, Weebo. The scene that stands out in your memory that you remember is him grabbing a 14-year-old blonde girl's ass who's not dissimilar from your appearance. What does this tell us about you?
Well, it wasn't so much the ass grabbing, but what happened after the ass grabbing is he made that face.
Oh,
The
he does.
very signature Nicolas Cage face, and that
Yeah.
stands out to my mind. So everything leading up to that point also gets tacked on to the very obvious Nicolas Cage face.
Yeah, especially that John Woo did a smash zoom on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the horrifying part. It's
So what does that say about me? It means that I have a good memory for really silly faces. Like the comical kind of faces. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen it in a meme before. Several times.
Oh yeah, so have I.
Oh, yeah.
Not that face. I have seen less than I have seen Nick Cage doing before he does that face and grabs ass. He starts dancing and does like the head twirl and the whatnots and yeah, it just wow.
Face off. I spelled face off wrong. Yeah, so
Oh yeah,
this is what stands out in my head.
of course.
But like, look at all of these faces.
Yeah, that's when he's staring in the mirror when he's high as hell on drugs. Yeah, that's... Yes, that's a great gif. Holy shit.
I need this one. I'm gonna keep that one.
Can you shoot me the link to that one?
You can't use it for a money alert. I'm using it for a money alert.
I actually just wanted to throw it at Zelthor because he's a huge fan of Nick Cage shit.
Okay, there you go.
You can't use it for an alert. I'm using it for an
It's
alert.
mine. Hey, what about this one? Oh my God. I could just look at these all day. Oh, more Nick Cage face.
Yeah, see, the smash zoom is not cool, man. It's just...
Oh. Oh no. Woo!
Yeah, see, no one told John Woo to tell these guys to stop it. It's great. It's
Wait, so at this point of the movie, is this the bad guy and this is the good guy, or is this the bad guy and this is the good guy?
That part of the movie is that particular shot and scene is ultra uber super duper epic because they have switched faces, right? So they're each other and they're like, why don't we just switch bodies back? And he goes, there is no going back. And that wall isn't a wall, it's a mirror. There's mirrors on both sides. So when they turn and point guns at each other, they're pointing guns at themselves, which actually is their enemy. Do you see what I mean?
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, it's a hell of a scene, and it's like I want to kill that guy, and it's like yeah, but that's actually a reflection of you currently. That John Woo, man, hell yeah. Oh yeah, when he's on the plane, I could eat a peach for hours. Yeah, only Nick Cage could make that sound as creepy as he did in that scene.
It doesn't look it. Okay, so I don't think I've ever actually seen the full movie. I think I've only seen scenes from it because I would have remembered that too.
You know what bugs me the most about that movie in terms of commentary on it? They're like, it's not realistic. John Travolta's like 4 inches taller than Nick Cage and their body size doesn't fit and blah, blah, blah. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's like watching Lord of the Rings and being like, magic isn't real. Like, yo, man.
Yeah, because their bone
This is where you're
structure is
complaining?
exactly the same too, right? And you can just rip someone's face off and put it on yours and look exactly the same as them, right?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, you have to suspend disbelief on that one. Fucking fun killer.
Yeah, that is the least believable part of that whole movie.
Right? The sheer amount of injuries that those guys sustain and still keep going, because that's John Woo movies, the action, the fighting, the
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, right? It's, yeah, they'd be in a hospital for weeks and weeks with the amount of damage they take, if only from the boat crash, but they still keep going and going and going. And that's a John Woo film. Everybody can take a hell of a lot more damage than anyone could in the real world. Otherwise, the film would be over in 5 minutes.
Excuse me. What kind of peach was you talking about? I think you know, Snoopy. I think you know very well. Okay, apparently this is the movie that we're going to watch for movie night. Six has declared it, and I don't disagree. So this Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you so find yourself in the Discord, please join us, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, for Face Off. Links in the description.
I will try my goddamnedest to get there because that's my AAA hosting day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You're
guys start at
Central
5,
Standard, right?
Yeah. You guys start at
Yeah.
5 Central, right?
5:30 Eastern.
Oh, 5:30. I can push it back to 7:30 if you want. If you really, really, really want to be there.
I'd like to be there.
But you actually have to be there, Polly.
I will be there.
You can't forget.
No, you know what I'll do?
What?
I'll do the Weebo thing. I'll put it in my calendar.
Oh my gosh, yes, please do. That would make my life. Oh, hi, small child. I've upset the cat.
Oh. Face Off film.
Boop.
Yay.
There's a cat staring at me now.
I'm even setting a reminder.
Yes. That's how I know I've made it. Okay.
Well, it's on my phone, so yeah.
So we are approaching the 2-hour mark here. Polydub.
Yes.
Oh gosh. My phone is reminding me that it's bedtime. So let's go for another 5 minutes. Any extraneous questions that the chat has left over can be answered by the two of us. And if you have anything that you wanted to shill coming up, you do that.
Me?
Yes.
Well,
ahead,
AAA
Shannon.
tomorrow on Drunkest Channel, and then at 5:30 p.m. Eastern and 5:30 a.m. on Christmas Island. And then, as I just said, Wednesday is again AAA on my channel, and then Friday is on Sinatra's channel. Again, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 a.m. on Christmas Island. Are you trying to give him a high five?
I want her to palm my hand. Palm my hand.
Oh, her.
Come on. Come on, Val. Nope, she's not.
You could do it with kitty treats.
She doesn't know. I tried to buy treats for her and Meowschwitz, and neither of them liked it. Like,
Really?
at all. They didn't eat the treats. So I stopped. So I need to find some treats. And I need to find, like, samples of treats that I can give them. Not have to worry about it.
I did. I mentioned earlier, Six. I think it was before you were here that I did check your DMs. I read your donation from earlier, and yes, interested. So I will reply accordingly. A friend of mine. Do you have a dehydrator, like for jerky and whatnot?
Yeah.
Do you? One of my friends who has a dehydrator because they're really into jerky, and she has 2 cats. Bought a big ass side of salmon and then cut it up into smaller portions to freeze it. Right. And then so there were cut up bits left over. And when she was making jerky, she dehydrated a whole bunch of the cut off salmon bits. And so it was salmon jerky. And the cats will like break into a mason jar to get at them. They loved it so much because cats love fish. And it's a chewy little fish bite.
You'd think that, but these ones don't like the fish.
They don't?
So that was one of the... I switched them to wet food, right? And so I had to kind of test out what flavors that they would like. And so the wet food came in a mixed box of a variety of flavors. They had chicken, duck, and then I think it was salmon. And the salmon they really didn't like.
Huh.
And if I'm ever making tuna fish salad and I leave the can out, like they'll sniff at it because they're intrigued, but they won't go out of their way to like lick the tuna can clean, which yay, but also makes me think that that's not for them either. So that's like two
Okay.
of the main types of fish
Sure.
for cats that they don't like or don't like enough. They do like duck. They really like the duck flavor.
Interesting.
Which
Like
yeah.
wet food duck? They make
Yeah.
that? Huh.
Blue Wilderness, that's the brand that I use. It's a little bit more on the expensive side because it's higher protein content, which you want when you have cats because they can't digest grains as well. And if it's harder on their digestive system, they'll have renal failure later on in life. You don't want that. So
Like, aren't cats straight carnivores?
yeah, they're carnivores.
Yeah.
So that's why we give them the wet food and then the very high protein kiblets.
Okay.
Those are chicken flavored. So they're big poultry fans. That's what I've learned. Aren't you? Don't you like that? Except we ran out of wet food this weekend, so we need to get more. They were not happy about that. Y'all's kitties need a software update for fish. Why is there no mouse flavored cat food? Probably because that's a lot of tiny bones that they'd have to contend with. That's what my thinking is. Weebo, did you steal any rocks as a memento from the ruins you visited? Well, because I'm live on air, I think legally I have to say no. So no. I did
Gotcha.
not steal any rocks from any of the ruins that I visited while I was overseas exploring ancient ruins.
Of course not.
And that's where I'll leave that. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lizard people of all ages, variants thereupon, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We deeply appreciated your attendance on this lovely cocktail hour stream that we are having. Apologies that we were a little bit late, but that was unavoidable, unfortunately. I want to thank Polly, my co-host, for being here with me and putting up with my shenanigans.
It was a fun time.
Good. I had fun. You had fun. I hope the audience had fun as well. We will, unless I hear otherwise from Polly or something comes up in my personal life, we will be here next week, same time, same place, same otter, same face. Right, Polly?
Yep.
Okay, cool. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, we deeply appreciate your company. And thank you to all those who donated as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So later. Ow!
All right. Have a good night, all.